can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a...
You know what time it is. You know what time it is. All right, it's double trouble time. You know what time it is. All right, man. If you're new to the show, I am Jared A. Brown. I'm half of Double Trouble. All right. We interview the brightest minds in the digital marketing space. And I've got a super, super special guest tonight. And I'm excited to interview Eric Forner. All right. So, man, I'm super charged to do that. Amped. I'm geeked up all the way. 100% I am. But please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow or whatever it is that where I'm streaming right now on Twitch, on YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is. All right, hit the subscribe or follow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce my co-host. All right, Jeff, my twin brother, half of this duo. All right, won't be joining me tonight because he's en route, all right, to the United States. He lives in Abu Dhabi in the UAE, and he's going to be touched down in New York City pretty soon. But anyway, so tonight, all right, I am going to be bringing back Abby, totally worth it, Worthington. All right, the money maker. All right, the money maker, bringing her back. And we're going to be, again, introducing Eric Forner. All right. So Eric Forner went from a beat up construction worker with $40,000 worth of debt to becoming a high ticket digital marketing coach and consultant. He made 1 million online in just 20 months and has helped over 900 individuals achieve similar success. And with expertise in the high ticket affiliate marketing, email marketing, high ticket closing, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all those things. All right. He empowers aspiring entrepreneurs to build sustainable online businesses, and he teaches proven strategies. So I'm bringing on Abby. Here we go. Give her a very warm double trouble welcome. That way, all right, we can bring on our guest, and then she feels just the warm and fuzzy that we all feel, all right, when I come on, because I'm all warm and fuzzy. So here we go, co-host. Let's go.
I always feel like such a rock star, man. How often do I get to like co-host with you though and interview one of my mentors? That's
I know, right? Yeah, but you
I
are
also
a rock
love
star.
I also love your new intro, but I love how Rochelle looks beautiful. She's like waving at the camera and I'm like
My bad. I didn't even notice that. My bad.
it's actually not that bad. I'm just giving you crap. But yeah, awesome. I'm so glad to be here. I'm excited to have Eric on.
Yeah, super excited to do that as well. So let's do this. I'm going to bring him on. But what would you like to say before we bring him on? What would you say to the audience, anybody who's watching right now? How would you like to introduce him, or talk to, what would you say about him to our audience that's watching right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say I went through 5 other programs before I found Passive Income Blueprints, and I really struggled with everything until then. And I've been a career marketer, but marketing myself is different. And it was really when I got into PIB, I started with the 12-day, and then I got into the Roadmap to Success, which is the mastermind. And that is
Mhm.
really when stuff shifted for me and things started to actually happen. So what Eric teaches are actionable steps that you can take to see real results. And he's not telling you to do stuff just like based on a theory. He has actually
Okay.
done these things himself. So,
Uh-huh.
I've been very happy to be a part of the program. And if anybody is on the fence, hopefully this will be an opportunity for you to get off of it.
All right. All right, fence sitters. You heard it from Abby, fence sitters. All right. So let's bring him on. All right. So here we go. Where's that VIP intro? Oh no, that's my water bottle. Where'd it go? There it is. VIP.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What's up? Hey, beautiful intro by the both of you, and beautiful individuals. Abby, thank you for the kind words. First and foremost, great work on all of the pre-frame of the whole show. I like what you have going on here. 100%. I just want to give you a shout out first and foremost before we jump into anything. And thank you so much, Jared, and thank you so much, Abby, for having me on the show. Super excited. What's going on, guys?
All right. Thank
What's up?
you. Thank you. That's
All right.
super cool that you said that. I've been doing a podcast live stream show since 2019, but with a different genre. I just real briefly, in case in case people are watching, they want to know why I do this, is that I got started in affiliate marketing back in 2013. Struggled because of traffic, like a lot of people, and Instagram was just in its infancy, and then all of a sudden, Jeff, my twin brother's wife, her kidney disease, she has kidney disease, started to really get worse. And so she had to go on dialysis. And so when she got on dialysis, I felt inspired. In fact, the one thing that inspired me and is that she's very private. In fact, rarely does she post anything, guys. And when she does, it means something, right? If you ever know anybody who's an introvert, right, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she posted something on Facebook in 2016 that she was totally distraught, and she was like asking God, why are you, why is this happening to me? And her donor candidate had fallen through, and I just felt inspired by that message to do more. And I knew that, having been an actor, and I'm not afraid of being on camera or in front of people, that I just felt inspired right there to do more. And so that's what started me to campaign. And so Jeff and I started campaigning to help her find a kidney donor.
Love it.
Fast forward a little bit, because of her high sensitivity to antibodies, we had over 30 candidates come forward because of what we were doing and videos that we're doing and stuff like that. Over 30. We lost count. But because of that sensitivity, she had a deceased donor angel instead of a live donor. And she got a kidney transplant in 2018. And so I just kept going because people started reaching out to me and asking me to help them find a living kidney donor. And I was interviewing people every week, and it's called the Warriors Quest Show. And it's still part of my YouTube channel. I'll probably go back to it again. But right now, since last year, Jeff and I were looking for ways to kind of monetize our social media. And then that's how I got back to doing this. And
Love it.
And we just thought, you know what, we're already used to interviewing people and stuff. And so let's do this. And it just fits like an old hat. And so I love doing it. But anyway, it's not about me. Don't start.
No,
Here I am talking about me. It's not about me, Abby. What am I doing?
well, it kind of is when you really think about it, my brother, because you're doing this for a reason. It's your why, right? And if you do it for
Yeah.
a reason, and you could sell that why, and you could sell that dream to other people, you'll find those loyal followers, and you'll find those raving fans, right? By believing in your dream, right?
Right.
And by you telling that story. So you probably just
Absolutely.
got 7, 8, 10 more followers right now because of your why.
Yeah, and I'm not, the really cool thing, okay, is that, and what makes me feel gratified by having done that work as a kidney disease patient advocate is that I help find like 3 living kidney donors for kidney disease patients, and that's and that's gratifying. I can say that I helped save 3 lives, if you know what I
Absolutely.
mean. It's pretty gratifying, and so that I've one of the people that I saved, so to speak, that I found a living kidney donor for, lives here in Utah, and she, it's anyway. It gets me almost emotional when I talk about it, because she is super grateful, and she always speaks very highly of me, that she wouldn't be either alive right now, or she wouldn't be as feeling the way she does if it weren't for me. And so, but it is my story, and I try to tell it more often, and I need to tell it more often. I've done it a couple times in the last month, but a story like one story can be told countless times. I need to tell it more often.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah. So anyway, so tell me, Abby, anybody else who's watching, where are you from? I think you're from Las Vegas, but you live in Montana right now. Is that right?
Yeah, born and raised in Vegas. We can get into the nitty gritty of it, but for sure, man, that's where I came from. My stomping grounds were Vegas, and it was a rough childhood. Needless to say, not because it was Vegas, but I lived in a predominant Hispanic neighborhood. And back then, you remember when Boys in Blood In, Blood Out, Boys in the Hood, all those gang movies came out, Tupac and all these,
Right.
everybody wanted to be a gangster. Well, I was the only white guy in the
1992 or
neighborhood.
so, 93. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, I was the only white kid in this, growing up in this Hispanic predominant neighborhood. It was kind of rough at times, but yeah, that's where I come from, brother, is Vegas. And I was there till about 21. And then I kind of set sail from there, but yeah, for sure.
All right. Very cool. You're not too far away from me. I told you I live near Salt Lake City, Utah, and so we're both Mountain Time Zone. That's cool. I love Montana.
Yeah, I live in Montana now. Correct. Yeah. Special
shout out to Lambo, my homeboy Lambo. Giving us some comments here. He's man, I admire that guy, dude. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
Lambo's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
Good meeting
So we've
you,
got
brother.
also some people from your Facebook group responding, and one of them's from Australia. Do you know who that might be, Eric?
It could be several people, actually. We have a lot of Australians. Oh, she's a
All
goat.
right.
So we have several Australians Aussies inside of our community. So it could be a variety of people. Not really sure too.
I bet it's Rupee though.
It could be possibly very much so.
She's always on everything.
Yes, indeed. She's a supporter.
All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the comments up on the screen. That way, as they comment, they'll be up on the screen so you guys can see that as well. Watching from Tennessee.
Love it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right. So hashtag live, hashtag replay, people. But so we're interviewing Eric Forner, everyone, CEO of Passive Income Blueprints. And someone from Pennsylvania is tuning in. That's dope. And so tell me a little bit. So during that time, in that era of growing up with, which is a really cool era, by the way, because I love the music that came out of the early 90s to late 90s. I'm influenced by hip hop and R&B, and a lot of good music came in during that time. Of course, Bone Thugs and Harmony, so many good musical artists. That's such a good era. It really was. Lambo's turned in here. He's commenting, the 90s was the shit.
Yes, it was. 100%. Vegas in that time, even though the neighborhood I grew up in, I became friends with a lot of people they became, a lot of allies. And so it still wasn't good for my environment, especially, where I was at, but eventually left from that situation. The 90s were great, right? It was a lot of trouble for me, right?
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't always take the right path. I didn't always make the right decisions
Mm-hmm.
throughout my life, right? Because I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth whatsoever, right? So, needless to say, I've had a great life, and I don't take anything back that I've been through, right? So yeah, it's the 90s were great. I wish I could do it all over again, though.
It all shapes who you are, though.
Oh,
Like
for
all of the bad
sure.
stuff,
Life
Yeah.
it
shaper.
sucks in the moment, but in the
Yeah.
long run, you really learn from it, and it helps shape who you are and how you move through life. So
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, saying speaks very highly of you. Abby, of course, does. And there are many other people that have spoken highly of you. What was it about those troubles, do you think, that helped you, I guess, get polished, so to speak? Or where was your rock bottom point that made you feel as though you've got to change this around?
Yeah. It didn't come until I was about 38, 39 years old in my life, right? And it was about my fifth DUI, or it was my fifth DUI. Yeah, fifth DUI, sixth DUI, fifth time in prison. Sorry. So basically, my second DUI, I went to prison in Arizona, and I was
Wow.
21 years old. Right. And
Mhm.
it all kind of started from there. I got my second DUI in Maricopa County, Arizona. The first one I spent 6 months, believe it or not, inside of Tent City. They don't have that no more, I heard. But it was a wild ride. And from there, it's just been a roller coaster all the way up till I was about 38. And you're asking about my rock bottom. And, it took a lot, right? It really did. And it wasn't until I had somebody that really cared and gave a crap about me, 100%. Because I went to the Utah College of Massage Therapy. I lived in Utah. All these different things were taking place in my life, but nobody really actually cared until this last time I met a woman named Jessica. And I went to prison. I was working the mines at this time. I was on my days off, and I would come back to Montana from Idaho and basically visit here because I didn't have any family. My family is completely broken. Nothing's around, right? Except my dad, he's still there, but it's very limited, kind of contacting. Either way, with that being said, I had all these troubles, throughout life, and I kind of got sidetracked a little bit. I'll kind of reel it back in, but where was I going with it? I kind of got sidetracked with my dad.
No, you're fine. Yeah. So we're just kind of talking about
my bottom.
Yeah.
So basically all those trials and tribulations, going through and out of prison. And then this last time a woman really started caring about me, really did care about me on my days off. I'd come back to Montana, visit, and eventually go back to work. But what the problem was, I continued to drink. I had a drinking problem. I had a continued driving problem while I drank, even into, this relationship currently that I'm in. Until I was about 38 years old. Well, she's seen something in me that I never really seen in myself. I've always worked a job. I've always taken care of business. I've always had money in my pocket, but I always had a drinking problem. Well, she seen something a little bit different than me in me that nobody else really did. She held me down while I was in prison for the 18 months plus the 6 months in county jail. So
Okay.
she was there supporting me, not really financially, because I had a little bit of money when I went in per se, but she was there emotionally, which nobody ever been there for my life. So that's when I hit my rock bottom and realized I had something more and I had something to give back. Right. And that's when I looked at my life in a not just in a 40,000 foot view, but really took a bird's eye view about who I affected throughout my life and actually what I've done to other people, being selfish throughout my path of destruction, not really stealing from people, not, destructing people's property, nothing like that. But I was taking away from my family. I was putting people in jeopardy, driving my vehicle and all these different things. So now that I have like a new awakening of life per se, or new breath, I've taken the opportunity about 3 years ago to start doing what I'm doing now. And I never thought I had a skill or a talent to get in front of people and move people and motivate people to take action in their lives to better themselves. And so I look at this opportunity to helping people one person for free each day to give back. And it keeps me going. in the movement of trying to help change the world, I guess you could say, in small increments. So that's kind of like where my bottom was and kind of how it all started.
Wow.
I always get chills when you talk about Jessica.
Oh yeah,
It's just like
she's a soldier.
she so clearly just like helped you change your whole perspective on life, and I always find that inspiring.
Yeah,
That is
it's too powerful
inspiring.
because I had a real big trust issue with women. Throughout my whole life, my mom was not there whatsoever. Right, dropped me off at my grandparents' house and say, "Yeah, I'll be back in this weekend." I wouldn't see her for 3-4 years. Right, and so every time I went to prison, she happened to jump into my bank account or my credit and just completely crush it. Right, so I had these trust issues with women anyway. So it's like I was always a touch and go kind of guy in a relationship anyway. Right, smash and grab, kind of go. I had half the time I wouldn't even tell women my name. I was that kind of person. Right, because I had these kind of trust issues. But somebody left their heart to me per se, and it's like, look, you got something very valuable. You have a gift that you need to share with the world. I don't know what it is, but let's figure this out together. And she helped me figure it out through the trials and tribulations and all the stuff we've been through right out of prison. I'm still on parole right now. Right, I built a 6-figure, 7-figure business on parole. Right,
Wow.
going through all the classes, all the hoops that parole gives you. Right, and now I'm on the point now where I only check in once every 3 months, even on DUI in a little town in Libby, Montana. But needless to say, we've been through it, and it's possible for anybody to get it, climb that mountain, right? And I hope it doesn't I hope it doesn't come to everybody's terms to where they have to hit their bottom first.
Well, I hope not either, because it's not fun. But the thing I said when Sang was on is, the life is pretty topsy-turvy. And if you haven't hit rock bottom, you're probably gonna sometime in your life. Whatever that rock bottom is for you, it's going to be different for each person.
Exactly.
You know 100%. What I mean? Life's not always a bowl of cherries. It's if it were, then we'd all be smiling every single day, and we wouldn't have any bruises, and everything would be just like, we'd have permagrins, right? That's just not the case.
The funny thing though is I've met people in that situation that are just like that because they're in the here and the now all of the time, right? They don't worry about tomorrow, worrying about tomorrow's worries because it takes away from today's strengths. So the more we could be in the here and now in the present,
what?
It does not matter.
Say that again, brother. Abby,
if you worry
that was a value bomb. Boom!
You should get an emoji or like a sound effect. But yeah, if you worry about tomorrow's worries, it takes away from today's strengths, right? So if we're in the here, in the present, in the now, it doesn't matter what we face in our situations in the daily life. It could always come out and could be a good situation depending on how we perceive it. But If our thoughts and behaviors and our emotions are in tomorrow, we can't conduct ourselves emotionally correct in the present, right? Yes. So as soon as I became to understand, number one is patience. And number two is trying to learn how to be in the here and now, right? And that's so hard for people, myself included, right? Not you individual as anybody out there, but the more we could be in the here and now and understand what is in the present, then we can understand our energy more, right? We can communicate better. We can understand personalities, and we can walk through life, not causing turmoil, but actually causing, pleasant, whatever, it's just being around pleasant people, right? I'm not the most pleasant person to be around sometimes. When I'm stressed out at work, I tend to sometimes take it out on my wife, and I have to reel myself back in and really think to myself and get back in the here and now and look at the present. And it always works itself out no matter what. Right. But that's all I really have to say about that. I don't want to steal your show or nothing like that, but it's, it's all about,
just beautiful
living here and now, bro.
That's beautifully said.
And that's how I got my success. Right.
I'm a huge proponent of mindfulness.
Sure.
I try to do meditation regularly. If it's not every day, it's every other day. I try to really do meditation. And so mindfulness, I think, is extremely beneficial.
Powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's powerful because if you can, be present as you just stated, then it's going to help you so that you're not increasing your anxiety. And when your anxiety is high, you do tend, we all do, I do, we start to think about a week from now, 2 days from now, or later tonight.
Indeed.
Anxiety is when we're thinking about, we're overthinking the future and we're not in the present. We need to be present right now. And when we are, like
we
you
can
just
do
said,
anything.
it's so ironic, but the more we are present, the more control we have over our future, whether that's an hour from now, next week.
Exactly. And with this day and age, it's so hard to be in the here and now with mobile devices, with TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, scrolling, yada, 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 right? And here's the problem is people wake up right out of bed and immediately start killing all their serotonin and all the stuff, all the good chemicals that we release throughout the day to give us joy, right? We release it.
Dopamine.
Like that dopamine gone in the morning, right? So our business, our life is our mindset as soon as we put our feet on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's really good to get in that. You said self-care kind of stuff, right? Meditation, like positive affirmations, helping somebody for free for whatever, no kind of like, no obligation whatsoever to help somebody,
no strings attached, brother.
No strings attached. Right. And being in the present and all that stuff, but the self-care is really important too, because a lot of people have never invested in themselves. Right. They'll buy all these different things for their kids and buy all these different things, or buy a brand new car, or $1,000 phone, or whatever it may be, but actually investing in themselves, right? That's what people need to really wrap around their mind. It starts with self-care, waking up a little earlier, maybe start working out, positive affirmations, stuff like that will really start, I guess, the flame, or start the spark to, whatever. But it all starts from the morning, man, when we start waking up and we get out of bed.
It does. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Dopamine is dope, but sometimes it's also dope. You could be so addicted to it, like dope, that it's not. It's only temporary, and there are some good things about dopamine, of course. Getting something, because like if you're somebody who's been down, I always tell myself, well, I can get some dopamine and go watch, a Dumb and Dumber or.
Right.
Something that's going to make me laugh, because I know the dopamine's going to at least increase my mood, but it's temporary. And so there are some things about mindfulness that can really help you in a more sustainable future versus dopamine. Definitely love that.
And Eric touched on this, and I know that he's talked about it before. And I'm seeing a lot of people starting to talk about this now, but like not looking at your phone, like I use it as my alarm clock, but I'm like really actively trying not to look at it until I have like actually started my day, like not sitting in bed looking at it, because it does, you do get those chemical rushes when you're in bed. But if there's anything bad that you see, that affects the rest of your day.
Out that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's detailed in my training. First thing, mindset, early morning schedule, routine, all that stuff's in there. Exactly what she's talking about.
That's powerful. That's
mandatory, right? It kills you. It kills your business. It really does. It takes away your motivation. People call it, right? It comes and goes, kind of thing. We gotta harness that motivation. We gotta use it to our advantage. 2% each day. It's all we have to increase, improve each day. It's 2%. Focus on the here and now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mindset is key. One of your followers from your Facebook group.
Absolutely.
I feel like I was meant to co-host this tonight because the conversation that you are having about just mindfulness and like not letting the anxiety, like thinking about today versus like thinking about thinking about tomorrow. Right. Like this week, that is so pertinent to me. Like I have just been on a roller coaster, and so I needed to have that reminder. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I feel like that's why I was called to this, Jared.
The stars are aligned. I feel like a song is gonna. A song's gonna break out into a song. Is it me or is it you, Eric? Because
I don't sing really, but
all right, so it's me.
Yeah, I don't sing.
Stars are aligned. So, all right. So we've got Jessica, who I know, Lambo. He's like, what did Jared just do?
Love it.
So Jessica seems like she seems like you're north.
Yeah. I would say
You know,
so.
your compass.
Yes. We definitely are meant for each other. We do like sometimes not see eye to eye on everything, but she still holds me accountable, right? She's like if I don't agree with something, she'll like, I don't agree with that. We should look at this way. And sometimes I don't agree with it, but a lot of the times it's like the way better angle to drive, right?
Okay.
You know, and you have to almost listen to her because like she is the one who actually invested in my first investment to actually get to the skills where I'm at today. So I have to almost listen to her about everything, you know, when it
That's
comes to
awesome.
stuff for the most part, right? I have my
Yeah.
directions and my set of goals that I want to do, and I'm hard on them, but for the most part, she does put me in my place. But yeah, she's the rock in this whole situation.
Well, and she also has the outside perspective, right? You're living
Mhm.
in the moment. She can see what's happening from an outside angle where she can see more than just what is going on in your head. She can see like how it might affect some other things in your life as well. So
Right.
if she can convey that to you in a way that like makes you relate to it, that's always helpful, you know?
Yeah, it's super helpful. The support's there too. You know, a lot of other things. She's a supporter, right? You know, we have the 4 different type of really personalities that we want to talk about. Really, is supporters. We have the analytics or the analysts,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have the promoters, and then we have the what's the last one I had it written down? Oh man, promoters, analysts. I have it right here. I'm going to tell you right now. So we have 4 of them. So analysts, controllers, promoters, and supporters, right? And those are basically 4. I know there's 14 or 15, 16 personality types if you want to get really technical. But
Very cool.
right when it comes to that, you know, she's the more of the supporter type. I'm more of the promoter type.
Promoter.
You know, I'm really gung ho. She's the one who's a listener. She needs to be listened to. Right. And then we have the analyst people that really have to look at the numbers first before they do anything. They have to be the analyst type. Right. And then we have the other controller types that want to control basically the helpers, right, or the supporters. And so it's like an even thing. We want to be kind of in that middle ground right here if we could, because a lot of us will take on one personality and then it stops us from doing anything in life, right? Because we have to look at everything and analyze it to the T and we'll never start. Right. Or we don't have anybody to talk to us because we need that companionship or somebody to sit down with us and walk us through every single step. But we're really trying to reach that center point right there where we can understand everybody's personality types. Right.
Yeah.
And so she fits into that helper kind of listener thing. And I'm the guy that's boisterous, outgoing, that she needs to kind of reel in every time.
That's a value bomb right there.
So that is a value bomb. Holy cow. There's, if you haven't already, all right, get connected with Eric because he's got so many things that could help struggling digital marketers. Right there is just a small morsel. I feel like I've just had I felt like I've just had a 1-course meal right there.
Well, we got to do this again. I go live on TikTok almost every day, really. And, you know, I just blab at the mouth. Like if anybody just sat at my TikTok lives and just took notes every day and just took notes and then can put it all together, they wouldn't even have to pay for nothing.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Because I just
that says a lot about somebody who is trying to genuinely help people. I like that. So I want to go back to a comment that Lambo has here, but I'm not sure if he started a little later because I feel
no. He has a good question because when you go to prison, you experience gangs, you get thrown into it automatically, and so you get grouped in with your race, right? And so the way I rolled solo with the Woods. Now, if anything were to take place or happen inside prison, I would have to back them up no matter what, right? If there's some kind of race war or anything like that, but I don't get into drugs. I don't get into any sex or they call them the gay people. I can't really be saying whatever, but the drugs, queers or gay, you don't want to get into gay stuff. And then you also don't want to get into gambling. So if you get into any of those 3 things, and you're not running with us, then you're going to have an issue. So if you keep out of those 3 things, you could run solo. So that's how I kind of got grounded. I looked at what was going around me. I never jumped into the gang stuff. I always didn't really combat with them until I was like up to about 6th grade, 7th grade. I was fighting all the time, getting chased home from the bus by groups of people, wanting to beat me up. And I've gotten jumped many times. But at around the 6th, 7th grade level, like I understood the culture. I understood. I could almost at the time I could almost speak Spanglish, right? Spanish completely, almost fluently, but there's a lot of
Wow.
slang in it, right? And
Mhm.
so I was able to fit in. So I understood what I was getting myself into. And now I was on the East Coast and I was on the West Coast. My dad was on the East Coast with all the Hispanics, and my grandpa was on the West Coast with a mixture of like the Black culture and then like a lot of the white culture too, kind of mixed in with it, right? Martin Luther King Boulevard, Nellis, all that stuff area. But anyways, so I had understood all these different types of cultures, and I understood the streets. So when I got inside of prison, I fit right in. I already had hustle because from the time I grew up, at 14 years old, I had my own apartment, cut and dry, right? I was already hustling. I was already doing my thing. My dad got it in his name, and I had my own stuff because I did not want to live at home. So since I was 14 years old, I've been on the streets, no joke. And I've been doing this all by myself, and I always had money in my pocket. May have not been the right way to get the money all the time, but either way, I was always hustling. I was always staying up, and I never wanted for nothing. Right? I wasn't asking for nobody for nothing ever. So when I jumped into the situation in prison, I fit right in, and I immediately got a store, a side hustle. I fit in with the gangs, even though I wasn't a gang member. I didn't have to put in the work. I did have to put in a couple pieces of work when I got into different prison settings just to be on that yard, to show my loyalty. And I had to put that work in, but they didn't ask me to continue to put work in because I didn't mess with the drugs. I didn't mess with nothing like that. But I was in those hostile environments, and I've seen a lot of crazy things go down. I've heard some crazy things go down when I'm in my cell at night. And, it was a position and a situation I never wanted to be in again, but I went 5 times. Right. Wow. And you ask yourself, why would you continue to do the same things over and again, expecting different results, insanity, blah, 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 blah. It's because I truly believed I didn't feel like I had something to give. Right. Okay. And as soon as somebody helped me recognize I was worth worth something, then I was able to basically come out of my shell in a sense. So it's crazy how it all folded and unfolded and just crazy. I've never been a rat. I've never been a snitch. I've never done any of that stuff. I can go to any prison, any yard, and I could be successful walking in that situation. And I'm happy to say that. Right. And I have, I have a clean slate no matter where I go. And that's proud to say, but it's a good thing to say too, because it's another community in there. If you can hold yourself at a stature, walk out of there with clean, and you just walk out of there as a good dude, then you've done something for yourself, depending on the environment you've been in, right? But either way, man, I told my stories, what changed my life, right? I found the right mentor, showed me the right strategy, and it absolutely catapulted my life and 900 other people around me.
Wow. That is such an inspirational story, Abby. Wow.
Yeah, sorry. My cat
You're
is
fine.
throwing up.
So Lambo comments right here that it's street code.
What's up, saying?
Yeah. But it's also says a lot about your personality, where you can, you're versatile. Many, I can relate to that because I'm very very good at improv, and I can improvise with the best of them. And if you can go into a different situation and then actually, mirror what they're doing, or kind of what's the word I'm looking for? If you can fit in, gel, whatever, then that says a lot about your personality. It does, because not everybody can change. Change can be extremely difficult for people. Mm-hmm. People get set in their ways, and they don't want to change. People will get used to watching, a certain TV show, and then all of a sudden,
people change 2 different times, right? And there's the 2 biggest fear. Hang on, I'll get into the first thing first. I don't mean to cut you off, but people change when they either hit their low and they, oh gosh, I gotta go get a job now. Unemployment ran out, or they hit their high and they're afraid of change. Right? The 2 biggest fears are afraid of success and afraid of failure. Hands down. And when people get to these ceilings, they self-sabotage themselves. They truly
Right.
do, because they get
Mhm.
back to that comfort zone. Oh, I have enough money coming in now. I don't have to
Yes.
I work no more. And then they steady in that life, that cycle, and then they'll drop back down to their low. And I got to get back up and do it
Yes.
again. So we go
Mhm.
throughout life doing this because we were born and raised with glass ceilings and brick walls, right? We were given limited beliefs in our
Mhm.
conscious, subconscious, and super subconscious. Never forgets nothing. And when we're told limiting beliefs and things we couldn't do early on in an early age, it affects us in an adult age.
It
right?
does.
And a person would have to peel back the layers to actually find out what the causing root of, like, why are you feeling this way, and why you feel you can't push forward or motivate or even influence anybody else,
Boom.
right?
Yeah. I saw
That-
someone talking the other day,
Dude.
and she said, it really stuck with me. She said, you would never tell your child, well, some people would, but you would never tell your child that they can't do something that they're dreaming about. So why would you tell yourself that, right? But there are parents who do tell their children that, unfortunately. And now we're in a different time where we're less likely to limit like the people that we care about. But I thought that was really, it's exactly what your point is, Eric, is that like, you have to reteach yourself.
Well, think about it. We start losing the ability to imagine and put ourselves in character positions and play with toys, and right? If we can go back to that creative state of mind, right? When it's a breeding ground for success. Truthfully, is go back to that state of mind of creativity and imagination, right? So when we start dumping all that crap into the imagination, like you're saying, Abby. We hit these glass ceilings and limitations in school and all these other things that people tell you have to go do in order to be successful. You don't, right? But it all comes down to that, and limitations, yeah, man, and glass ceilings on ourselves.
Yes. So I think this is saying is you guys kick ass. So speaking of kick ass, it's actually a good comic book that became a movie. All right, and so
it is actually there's two parts.
Yeah, and which is this comment actually reminds me a lot of what you're talking about here, because as a kid, I was a really big comic book fan. Still am to a point, but I don't buy comics, but I still love superheroes, and and when we're kids, when we read those comics, we have this super imagination that you were just talking about.
True.
You know what I mean? And we think, oh wow, this is something, if I could, have that, I could do this or that, or and the cool thing about comics is that it allows us to use that imagination. But there's something that happens as we get a little bit older, and I never thought of it that way, Eric, is that maturity, yes, to a certain degree, is why we don't, but also because of how we're influenced, and what people are saying and what we think we should do is sometimes why we don't have that imagination, and why we don't think how where sometimes people get in this comfort zone where, hey, I'm just going to clock in, clock out, this is my 40 hours, this is all I'm going to do, I'm okay with that,
Well,
and that imagination stops.
There's something about when you realize how the world works, you're not able to have as creative an imagination anymore. So I've always said that my dream job is when I can have the feeling of when I was like 6 and 7 years old, sitting in my room playing for hours so long that it got dark out and I didn't even notice. Like that, when my dream job is when I can get immersed in something like that, and that it just flows like that, and it feels like you just lose track of time. 100%. Because that's what it is. That's like the whole difference, is like you're in
a zone.
For me at least, you get too into like this limitation of time, and because of that you kind of just create these walls for yourself. So.
Indeed.
Wow, that's meta.
Trying to find that spot, find that space is trying to discover that, right?
Yeah.
And it depends. You might have to open a million doors until you discover it, right? Because doing what I'd done first when I first started this adventure, it wasn't something I liked, but Brad, my first lawyer, said my first mentor, said it's going to open up doors for you. And you'll find your groove for sure. Kind of what Abby was saying, that imagination thing, and it limits you and what's going on in the world. But I think if we just started taking imperfect action, getting started, and find out what your limitations are and what you're capable of, and finding and discovering failure, right? And when we do discover failure, it's really important to like take that back to the drawing board and not dwell on it, but actually investigate, pick it apart, and find out, okay, where did I go wrong in my conversation, in my day to day? Did I influence somebody? What was my part? Right? It's not about what anybody else at the end of the day. It's about what we did, because we all can take part in blame in any situation, except for some
for real,
like somebody's personal stuff, and they take advantage of that. But other than that, we'll play part, and we can play blame in every situation. If we can identify that and we can pick it apart, we can definitely make the situation better next time.
Yes.
Right?
And even currently.
Yeah, currently too as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Absolutely. Failure makes you grow. If you are not failing, you aren't growing. 100%.
Yeah, failure makes you grow. That's awesome. If you aren't failing, you aren't growing.
If you guys are getting any value out of this, would you drop a hashtag value in the comments right now? And if you guys are viewing this live, please drop a hashtag live, and on the replay, drop a hashtag replay. Make sure you guys are also following Jared and the Double Trouble Show. Make sure you guys give Abby a follow as well. I'm just going to do a little shout out for you guys real quick.
Nice. I love it.
You're going back into host mode.
It should happen about every 5 minutes or so. And doing a little shout out, keep people activated. You know what I mean?
Nice. I like that.
Where's everybody viewing in from? Drop it in the comments real quick, and we'll get this party started. But yeah, man, I love doing these kinds of shows. And this is my whole goal. My superpower is getting in front of people and motivate, right? And teaching strategies and teaching people actually letting them know they can actually make money online and do something better for themselves. It's not all about the money, but it's all about learning and understanding how to use money as a tool, right? As soon as we can understand that and stop taking the connection away from money like we all have, and realize it's just a tool to get to our next step, then it's going to be fine, guys. I promise, right? It will.
But I think also going back to failure needs to be understood as a tool to your next step as well. Like, yeah,
that's part of the success cycle, right?
Yeah.
You learn, you implement, you fail, you go back to the drawing board, you learn, you implement, you fail, and that's kind of like the way it goes. And those failures are going to turn into wins for sure.
Kangaroo emoji, I love it.
Oh yeah, I love it. We got a few Aussies in here. Love it. Thank you guys for participating.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the more you talk about failure, the more things that just come to my mind. So the thing about the more you have, the more we should give you. Dig. Yeah, I love it. So true. The thing about failure is that I think that sometimes because of somebody having failed in something, whatever it might be, I didn't get the promotion at work, or I don't know, my girlfriend broke up with me, whatever it might be. Okay. When that failure happens, I think that it's more like when you're a kid and you touch the burner on your stove where you're hesitant to do it again because you remember that negative, energy, that negative feeling. And that is good, but it's also bad. Okay. And it's natural to feel that way. But I think with both of you, you've said some really good things that instead of having so much reluctance to take action because of something that didn't work, don't focus on not doing it because it didn't work before. Focus on how you can do it better and how you can learn from it. And I think that can be the biggest difference.
Yeah, going back to the drawing board, over and over and over and over and over and over until something works, and something works, double down on it. Right.
Yeah.
And then you move to something else and do it over and over and over. And before you know it, the over and over becomes just do it, because you get that good and you know what the market's wanting, what people are asking for, it's not about what you want to teach. It's about what people want to learn. Right. Ultimately. Mm-hmm. So, if we could put that all together, it becomes a great cycle, but we have to create the cycle, right? We have to create that rotation. Right. And that's the thing is, I think if my goal was to be the president of a certain company, truthfully, with what I know now and how positive, like thought, power of thought and all these different things that I know now, I think you can pretty much do anything you really want. Right. A person's capable of. But Yeah, I don't know where I went off on that, but just the power of the failure and learning from what you have already done, and just know that's the process, and everybody's been through it. Everybody starts at zero, everything, right?
Yeah. So back to self-care. You mentioned it earlier, and I think that's huge. Is one of my favorite books that I've read that I need to read again. Actually, is The Magic of Thinking Big. And I think there's so much good in that book because you aren't just trying to think of things in such a small way. It's powerful when you try to think beyond what you normally do think, and it makes you, when you read a book like that, it inspires you to do more. But that what you said just totally reminded me of that book, The Magic of Thinking Big. It's a good book, good self-care book.
Absolutely. Slight Edge is where I got the 2% rule. Jeff Olson, I think he wrote it.
Jeff Olson. Okay.
Yeah, it's Slight Edge. It's about, just improving just 2% each day. And at the end of a year, that scale is going to be a mountain that you climb. And all you just have to focus on just 2% each day. Take 5 things that you need to do for the next day, write them down that night. Get them in line with what you have to do, end up in your memory bank. And then so you're already prepared the next morning. Your mindset's there. You slept on it. You might have dreamt on what you need to do because you wrote it all down. And then you're prepared in the morning to just get up and execute, right? You almost don't even want to look at your phone.
Already thinking about it, brother. I love it.
Yes, because you're almost excited at that point to go do what you need to do on your obligations. And then once it gets done, then go ahead and scroll on TikTok if you feel free, or just go hang out with your kids or whatever. But
so I have a book that's not, since we're sharing books. I can't remember who the author is, but
we're in a book club, everyone.
But it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And it is the courage to get over your fear of people's judgment. And it's not necessarily about like being a dislikable person, but it's the courage to not care whether people like you or not. And I think that is also a huge part of why failure, like failure and fear of people's judgment are tied.
Oh yeah,
like hand in hand. Like if you can get over your fear of people's judgment, the failures don't seem like such failures, right? Because they're just milestones that you have to learn from. It's all the outside influence that keeps you like you're trained to like care what other people think. And I mean, like, it's not like we shouldn't care, but like we need to learn how to like separate and create a boundary between what really matters and what matters to us, so.
Absolutely. We just got to dig deep and peel back to the layers of the onion and find out where in our lives where we were put in that position to feel like that. Right. And that's where we got to actually work, because our super subconscious never forgets anything. And we build everything off of that foundation, right? So we have to dig deep, peel back some onions layers. And a lot of people don't want to move through that process of, talking about what happened when they were young, or, who was being mean to them as an uncle or whatever it may have been. People don't want to go to those lengths to discover, to actually get the help that they possibly can, need. And, that's, I think, what really about it is. I never had a filter, right? And so I still have onions and layers of the onion, but I never truly had a filter. And, I think growing up, I never really cared what anybody thought, because I was put in that position to not care, right? Like, you better get up and go to school, dude. You know what I mean? I'm not walking you off the bus. I'm not driving you neither. No,
I feel you. I feel you, brother. I don't necessarily care what people think of me until, that's what I always tell my wife, because she's the opposite. We go out. Do you think they liked me? And she's all into, asking me stuff like that. But I never really, worry about how people perceive me until I've hurt their feelings, and then of course I care. But yeah, this comment right here: what made you decide you were going to make this work and never quit? That's a powerful question.
What made me decide? I would have to say a conglomeration of everything. So my morning schedule and my nightly schedule kind of consists of this. There's a Millionaire Mindset, and I still listen to this day. It's 8 hours long, and it's a Millionaire Mindset reprogramming for your subconscious and super subconscious. So I still listen to that. It's 8 hours long, and I leave that low while I slept and play over and over. You have abundance. You will be a millionaire. Right? Abundance will in your life, like over and over. And I started with that path. So what made me decide was the conglomeration of doing that, reading books, staying in the moment of what I was doing currently. I got rid of TV. I got rid of all distractions. Any waking moment I had, it was on what I was focusing on and what my goals were, right? And my goal at the time, my why was get myself out of the current situation that I was in and give back to everybody I took away from, and whatever that took to do to, you know, amend my, you know, all of my relationships and all that stuff, whatever I had to do, and forgive. That's a big one. If you don't forgive, it's so hard to move forward if you can't forgive, right? And I had to forgive my mom over years and years and years of, right? And today I forgive her. Do I like her? No.
But you forgive her.
But I forgive her for what she has done to me, right? So I can move forward. But either way, it started with the positive affirmations, writing down 10 things I'm grateful for each morning, building a wealth wall, vision boards everywhere, right? I tore these things up. I got wealth walls, vision boards ranging from.
Oh, that's dope. Look at this.
And I have like the truck, it's in my driveway. The 2 dirt bikes, you can't see those. Behind the thing, but I got a lot of that stuff on my driveway. Still working towards the house. Been on a few of those vacations. But either way, a wealth wall, vision wall, looking at it, breathing it, eating, sleeping. So let me get this camera real quick. It's been a not adventure, but it's been a process of using the strategies of being grateful, forgiving, being in the moment, waking up early, rising early, being honest, and working hard. Pretty much what it boiled down to: positive affirmation, staying in the moment, reading books, listening to my mentor. That was it. No TV, no distractions.
No distractions. I love it. And then what I also liked, Abby, is the listening to. What was it that you said you listened to while you're sleeping?
Oh, the Millionaire Mindset.
Millionaire Mindset.
Reprogramming. Yeah, you go on YouTube and check it out. You know, I wanted to do that. I was listening to so much. I wanted to, it had copyrights on it though. I wanted to get my own. Maybe I could just do my own voiceover, or maybe pay somebody on Fiverr. So I'll write a script and I'll have them like something that's going to be repeated for maybe 30 minutes. They'll repeat something or say something for 30 minutes, and I'll just put it on repeat or loop, and I'll put that on YouTube itself. Because this dude has millions of like followers on YouTube, right? You know, and like hundreds of millions of views on this video.
Right. Yeah.
And hundreds of thousands, millions of hours of watch time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he probably makes good money just from people listening to that overnight.
For real.
Oh my goodness, right? I listen to it. You know what? I put it in my training, so all my students listen to it too, because it's in my training as well. My whole schedule, my routine, everything I've done, I'm not joking. I took notes from everything I've done since my journey, and all the courses, all the trainings, everything I've done in my mindset are in my books here. And they're full of material. Like they're not just empty. There might be a couple that are empty, but they're full of material that I've read through my courses, my schedule, what actually worked for me, and I documented that and put it from a 40,000-foot view, and I gave it for people can digest it in my program.
That's a testament. That's a testament right there. You got it documented. And, and when we write something down, our brains remember it more. Having been an actor, one of the best ways that and it may not be this way for everyone, but for me as an actor, the best way for me to learn my lines when I'm trying to memorize a script is to continually or repeatedly write the lines down on paper.
Indeed.
That helped me. I'm not kidding. And so there's truth to it. When we write something down, we can remember it better. Our brain works that way.
Absolutely.
All right, Sang. Thank you, brother.
Sang, have a blessed night, brother. I didn't notice. Oh, yeah, I see your name. You wrote it. But hey, brother, have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, that's how I memorized in English lit, because we had to like repeat Beowulf and
Beowulf, yeah.
Canterbury Tales.
Yeah, my wife actually teaches. She's an adjunct professor, and she teaches English 1010.
The thing is, you're talking about like writing it down. It helps you retain it.
It does.
Also implementation too. Because if we don't implement something like within 24 hours, typically we're going to forget it. So this is a gold nugget for everybody out there. When you're going through a course, a training course, I don't care what it is. As you're going through that course, take notes, and not only take notes. If you get an epiphany moment in the middle of a lesson and it's a 30-minute video and you just, oh my gosh, that hit home and that's like super powerful, I'm going to go tell that in my own words. Pause the video, go do a TikTok or write it down, go do a post on it, but make your journey just like that. So you're implementing as you're going all of the time, because you don't want to stay in that learning mode, because it's so hard to get out of that learning mode and get to the implementation mode, because you've already climbed that mountain of going through all of these courses. Then you look back at it. Now we got to implement it. Right. But if we do it as we go, so much more powerful. You guys will see more success.
Boom. I love it.
That's one of my other secrets too. 100%.
Mhm.
Do it as you go, man. Implement as you go.
Implement as you go.
Ah.
Strong words right there. Very strong
And then
words.
there's no, I'll get up and do it later. I'll do it right
Right.
now. Everything. You're laying on the couch. You don't feel like getting up and the dishes need to be done. I'll do them tomorrow. Nope. They do them right now. If you get into that habit and start getting out of that
Take
feeling of like, you
action.
don't want to do it, like, and you get
Yeah.
past it, it gets easier and easier and easier. So everything's done right now. You can execute with precision and you know what's on the next task for to do.
Yeah, because
Right?
again, even if you do it wrong, learn from it, do it over.
Yeah.
You know, too many times, like we've already mentioned, you know, we have people that are in inaction, you know, and they're not taking action. Just especially when you're inspired. So I firmly believe, honestly, that we feel inspiration on a daily basis, multiple times. Okay, and it's the people that I'm more impressed with. Okay, are the people that act on inspiration, because many people will feel inspired, but what do they do after they're inspired? That's what counts.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've learned to always keep my notes app or some form of something to write on near me, because otherwise it will leave me. But if
Yeah.
I see it later when I can actually address it, like if I'm out and about, I can't take action on it immediately, right? So I can address it later. That's has helped me a lot.
That is
Mhm.
that's a great that's a great tool. I like that a lot. You know, although our phones can be distractions, there are some cool apps that can help you, you know, and one of them is, I think it's Otto, OTTO, and it'll actually just it'll record what your phone is hearing and put it to words. So it dictates, you know, what the audio of wherever you are, whether you're in a conference, where you're in a meeting or whatever. And so it's another way where if you can't actually write, then you can have your app, you know, put it down.
Mhm.
Anyway, there's so many different ways to do it, but back to, you know, writing it down, our brain works that way, brother, and I totally agree with you, is that we will remember it more if we write it down. So I do think that's the preferred way, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we're kind of we're nearing the end here, Eric, and I've been super excited to have you on. You know, I don't want to take more of your time. We could, because I just feel there's so much we could probably cover.
I'll keep talking. I don't care.
I know you would, bro, and I value your time and I value Abby's, but I'm gonna keep in touch with you. I'm gonna share this stuff. I'll probably break it down like I normally do, and I'll put it in the TikTok videos, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and I'll share this with my followers. But before we do, what I'd like to do is give you time to maybe share things with people that maybe either are just starting out, people that are struggling. What would you like to share with people, you know, that are listening right now?
If they're struggling, you know, I guess it depends on their struggle. Everybody's is different. But if it's for the online business and that's your struggle, and you're having hard time getting motivated, find a community of like-minded people, right? Find a hub, somewhere you can go ask your questions, so you don't have to go to Google and YouTube.
Mhm.
Now, you know, sometimes, you know, I have a free community in Facebook. Now, it's not the most responsive community that, you know, for free. It's actually pre-responsive for free. Actually, it's really responsive,
Right?
But to get the most response and all that stuff is more my paid community. So if you're at ends wit, whatever you call it, and you've been down that rabbit hole of Google and YouTube, you know, try to find a community of something where you resonate with somebody, right? That person. You don't have to like them per se, in a sense, but just resonate with what they're doing in their vision and their journey. So, you know, if you're struggling with that, work on your schedule, getting up a little bit earlier, you know, writing down some great things you're grateful for, find books in your niche, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, get into the moment, get into the mode, believe in what you're doing full out, you know, inside and out, right? Believe it, think it, drink it, you know, bleed it, everything. You just have to be in the moment, right? And be in the here and now. Don't worry about tomorrow's struggles and worries about rent being due. Just worry about doing what you have to do today, and tomorrow will come, we'll figure it out, right? And that's just the way it got to work. So if you can maximize on your results and time in that day, in that moment, and get as much done without worrying about everything else, taking up your time, being a sucker of time. Let's just focus on the here and now, improve 1% each day, 2%, and ask questions, get involved with somebody. And yeah, that's all I have to really say about that. And if anybody is struggling, it doesn't matter what you promote. And in fact, is it okay if I bring up my upcoming program?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I have a free course right now. You can find it on my Facebook group, or you can just ask and whatever. Either way, I have a free course. It's a digital marketing secrets, digital millionaire secrets. And what it does is it walks you through the A to Z kind of path on how to get started with high ticket affiliate marketing. But on extension to that, I have a 5-day cold to commission challenge coming up. And now if you struggle, if you have a current offer and you struggle to make commissions, you just can't figure it out, you can't get leads, can't get sales, this cold to commission challenge is perfect for you. It's 5 days live with me. Now, if you are at 5K a month and you want to scale past that, this 5K, this challenge is perfect for you, right? Same thing. If you want to scale in your business, this is for you. If you want to learn on how to get started, it's 5 days. It's $47. Now I have VIP for $97. Now $97 VIP is where you actually meet with me after the initial training on a live Zoom. Mm-hmm. And then we go ahead and meet for another hour. And you guys just completely ask me whatever questions you want pertaining to your business or that topic for that day. So with that being said, that's all I have to do is drop on the value. I go live on TikTok Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 4 Eastern. So check me out, ask questions, pick my brain, and find something out there that you're going to resonate with. Invest in yourselves, right? Stop buying the phones, the garbage, whatever else it is that we buy. Take care of yourself and your families, obviously, but invest in yourselves for the first time, please, with me or somebody else.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautifully said. I'm so thankful that we did this. Hopefully we can do it again. I'd love to reciprocate. Absolutely. So if you're ever doing a live and you'd like to, have me on the other side, I'll be your wingman. And I'll totally, I'll be down to do a live stream with you on your show or on your Zoom or whatever, brother.
Yeah, we got the GOAT show, and I took it away for a little while. It's just I started building challenges, and so much was going on. It went away, but I want to bring more of, I guess, students on, but higher caliber of individuals that are trying to, motivate as well. They can bring more messaging in and really motivate my audience too. So I would love to have you on the show. Yeah, maybe next month we can start it up, and we'll just get ramping again. I got like 30 or 40 shows under my belt. So yeah,
sweet. Yeah, bring me on. Loved having you on tonight, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a blessed evening, and
you too, brother. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you,
right.
Abby.
I gotta be back on yours again, Eric, because I've done 4.
I know, right? She's
for sure.
We done 2 with Eric.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Stay on, Abby. I'm gonna talk with you after as well. Stay on, Abby.
Okay.
Eric, thank you again. Have a good weekend, brother. Thank you.
You as well, my brother. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, wow. Holy smokes. I mean, I know that you and other people have talked, with superlatives, but I'm blown away, and I'm so happy that I had him on today. I mean, the mindset thing is what I took from this, is that he just really the focus that he has on having such a strong mindset was powerful.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest, like there's stuff that he talked about tonight that I've not even heard before. Like, I mean, just about his personal story. So
yeah,
it's always, that's what I always find the most inspirational, is just like you can get through some tough shit.
Yeah.
And you can change your life. Yeah. So
awesome interview. Thank you for co-hosting with me tonight and tag teaming. Lambo says good shit. It was some good shit.
Good show.
That was.
Yeah.
We've had some really good interviews, and every one of them has been strong. But again, tonight just hit different, and it was just so inspirational. I hope to have anybody who's watching who hasn't watched it in its entirety, all right, to replay this and watch it again. I know I'll be watching it again as well, and breaking this up, and putting them on Instagram and Facebook and whatever I put it on. But
I want to just throw out real quick, because he mentioned the challenge, the 5-day challenge. I wasn't in the challenge, but I was like a part of it, like kind of like from somebody within the larger community.
Mm-hmm.
One of my leads actually got her first high ticket sale from it.
Wow.
So I mean, there's some, it's valuable for, like under $100. So
Yeah. I like that. I mean, success should be celebrated anytime. And
yep.
it says a lot about somebody's leadership when someone who's not had success before starts to have success, with somebody's tutelage. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
well, seriously, Lambo. Seriously, I want to give a shout out to Lambo because he every week he watches, loyal supporter, and does comment as well. Appreciate it, brother. Seriously, mad props to you. I appreciate
and he's
that.
helpful behind the scenes all the time.
He
too,
is
so.
super helpful.
Always
Super
appreciate
helpful.
some Lambo.
Yeah. Yeah. So mad love and respect, Lambo. Seriously. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Abby, thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
see if we can get the high. Let's do 5. Can you give me 5? Oh, it's hard. All right. Anyway, I don't want to hit you in the head, but
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to give you a high five. Or
oh,
there we go. Oh,
there we go.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You can't see me, but I'm giving you a high five. Yeah.
I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah. I'm doing something crazy. Yeah. We got to keep it flowing, y'all. That's right. Faux real. But anyway, thank you. Hope that your family stays blessed, Abby. How old's your little one now?
He's like 3 1/4. I don't know.
3 1/4.
Like
all right.
He's 3-ish.
All right. That's a good age, but still at an age where their personality starts to really kind of, blossom, or at least that you start to see the personality more so than I thought than 2 years old. At least
he got my sass. He got my sass.
Did he? He has your sass?
Oh yeah. I deserve all of it. I was a giant pain in the butt as a kid. So, but like he definitely.
It's coming back. Yeah. It's funny how that happens, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a blessed weekend. Thank you again, and holler at me, and let's stay in touch. Okay.
Obviously.
All right. Thanks, Abby.
I'm never talking to you again.
All right. Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Okay. Peace.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Super good interview. Again, if you haven't watched it, please hit the replay, watch it again, and hashtag value. I love that he said that because there's so many value bombs. Incredible. I lost count. And hashtag replay, hashtag live. If you're still watching right now, I see 10 of you. Hashtag live. Again, thank you so much. I love doing the show, and I wouldn't be able to do it, and I wouldn't be able to share these inspirational, motivational stories without you sharing, without you commenting, and without you following. So thank you. Peace. Where's that outro? I'm going to drop that beat. Okay, here we go. Peace.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is